Hello, folks, and welcome back to episode 28 of GingerLion's modded Minecraft Let's Play. If you recall last time, I had pretty much finished setting up my power suits. I just want to show you a couple of quick changes. I decided to add the high-efficiency solar generator, which allows me to generate power at the expense of heat. I believe you'd also seen me install the water electrolyzer and the auto feeder. This way, if I find myself underwater or in an environment with hunger issues, I don't have to worry about them. My flight control, obviously. I decided to add another battery to my helmet. This brings me up to a maximum power storage of 1,000,000 megajoules, and still keeps my weight under the 25 that I was concerned about. Oh, note, the high-efficiency solar panel also weighs 300 grams, which is why I'm at 10.3 here. My chest is 10. Again, an elite battery here, a jetpack. I decided to add a cooling system because my solar panel creates heat. And when I tested it in a desert environment, I gained heat faster than I'd like, so I added that. On the leggings, I did add the swim boost, just again, so if I find myself underwater, I'm not in a particularly dangerous circumstance. Shock absorbers in my boots, energy shields everywhere at full speed. So anyway, I'm probably not going to set up much on this power fist, though I'd considered the torch placer, the in-place assembler might be nice to have, the tinker modules will allow me to change my field configuration out in the field. None of this was valuable enough for me to actually, utilize it, keep it in my hand much. I'd considered the railgun, but it uses a lot of power and a heavy recoil. Just not really worth it to me. I may at some point go ahead and add the axe, the pickaxe, the shovel, the omni wrench, that sort of things to it, and begin using it as an omni tool, but not today. So, today, what are we going to work on? Today, we are going to take a look at Mystcraft. Now that I'm capable, it's time to begin generating ages so that I can work myself toward one that I trust to put my nuclear reactor in. So, how are we going to get started? Well, one of the first things that we do when we want to check out a new mod is we go to Item Subsets here, we click Mod, we go find the mod that we want, and we shift-click on it. You'll notice what that does is over here it shows us all the various items. Now, I've used this mod before, so I know that one of the first things that I really care about is making ink. I ended up needing quite a lot of ink. Luckily, I can teach my AE system every step of this. But first, I need to teach it glass bottles. So let's start with glass. I know that I have lots of that. We'll come over here, and we'll teach it how to make glass bottles. Let's encode those and toss that in. Now, with a glass bottle in hand, I can go ahead and make ink. Now, there are two recipes you'll notice for ink. One of them involves a filled water bottle, and one of them involves a water bucket. Well, if you recall, because of my washing process, I already have guaranteed at least 60 water buckets immediately in my system, easy to use. And then, remember, having set up automation on my stained saplings, it has finally spilled over into this system. So, what we do is we clear this out, we tell it one glass bottle, one filled water bucket, and 2 stained saplings produces me the ink vials that I need. And I'm going to ask it to make me a stack of them. So, let's see how quickly this process goes. I would like a stack of ink vials, please. 7, 10, 13, 16, 19. You'll notice because it doesn't actually have to craft anything other than in the processor, it can make me a stack of ink vials very quickly. Now, I happen to know some other things that I'm going to need in this process is leather and paper. And I taught my system recently how to make paper, so I'm just going to go ahead and tell it to make me a whole bunch of paper. There we go. Now I feel more comfortable. Now, the first thing that we need to begin starting on our Mystcraft adventure is the ink mixer. It's made of stone, wood, a glass bottle. All of this stuff, I happen to know that I'm only going to need 1 ink mixer, so there's no reason for me to teach my system to make it. If I was going to need as many as even 3, I probably would go ahead and have the machine make it, just because I'm lazy. But I also call that efficiency. Some people call it lazy. I like to think of it as efficiency, but I speak of it as laziness. Now, let's go upstairs, and I think I'm going to use this space in here for my Mystcraft writing. So let's start out right here and set down the ink mixer. The ink mixer, when you fill it with ink vials, this area in here fills with ink. And if you put paper right here, it allows you to make a link panel. Link panels are necessary for many purposes here in the game, for Mystcraft, including, most importantly, this one. When you need link books to move around in Mystcraft. The most important link book for you to have is one to a safe place, home. Now, here's the important part. If you go to another Mystcraft age and you do not bring yourself a linking book, you're going to end up not being able to come home. You can't kill yourself, because if you do, you'll return to the spawn of that world, not this one. The only ways for you to get back are to have someone else teleport you out, or to find the occasional age that will have instability and a stellar rift in it and fall through that rift. I have no intention of ever running into that problem. And so, what I intend to do is this. I'm going to make myself... There. That's a whole bunch of those. This allows me get me some glass bottles back, and I'm going to combine these 9 with leather and produce myself 10 unlinked linking books. And then I'm going to stand right here where I intend to do my work from, and I gotta create one at a time, unfortunately, and turn them all into overworld linking books. That means that every single one of these books will take me back to right where I'm standing if I use them in another Mystcraft age. I can't use them somewhere else in this world. You can create a book that will allow you to teleport from the overworld to the overworld, for example, but that's a much more advanced process, and it involves finding a villager that will sell you the right things. So, what am I going to do with these? Well, first I'm going to put my ink vials, the blank vials, back in there so they can be turned back into ink when I need them. And second, I'm going to come over here to these. Now, this is my ender chest, and I have a black ender pouch connected to it. And we've noticed before that I set this up to hold a couple of specific items in here for me. Well, I happen to have one more spot, I believe, in all of these. And even if I don't, I guess I don't need this specific diamond shovel anymore. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell this to ignore overworld linking books. So none of these 4 extractors are going to attempt to pull out overworld linking books. All of them are going to consider overworld linking books to be persona non grata. They will not touch them. They will not consider them interesting. And I'm going to tell this to keep 4 overworld linking books in it. Now, I'm going to test this by putting an overworld linking book in. That worked just fine. So now I'm going to test it in a slightly more complicated fashion. I'm going to put the rest of my overworld linking books, except 2, in here. What should happen? This pipe should request those 3 more overworld linking books from the AE system and pipe them down here. And it may take it a minute, it may take it more, but if I have this all configured correctly, and all of my pipes are configured right so that things can be requested from one system to another, let me just make sure of that. Yep, that's set up correctly. This should be set up correctly. Let's make sure that all is well. Did I just mess that up? I think I did. Let's put it back down. Pink. There we go. Could have just messed up my AE system there. All is well in that direction. And let's come and check. Has this got... No, it still only has 1. That's unfortunate. So I'm going to have to manually tell my system, what's going on now? Come on, folks. All this should be working. Come on. Well, it looks like they're all sitting in here unstacked. So it's possible that these items will not stack, and therefore they don't count as the same item and will not be ordered and such. Yeah, I clearly messed my system up a little bit by doing that. That's fine. Hopefully it'll all straighten out over the course of the next minute or so. So I guess what I'm going to have to do... Wow. Items flying away everywhere. Are they being entered into my system? If I put things in this system, what happens? They go just fine. So what happens if I think I see what's going on wrong here. There. So, let me explain to you what had gone wrong, because this is a wonderful thing for all of us in the future, for when we need to configure these things. What had happened, you'll notice how there are red lines here and orange ones here. Because I had removed this interface, what had happened is I had set it up to pump everything into this rock crusher, which wasn't really what I wanted. But let me pull all these out of my rock crushers, because I don't need it. So now... accidentally, all the items that were coming here were trying to go into the rock crusher, and anything that couldn't was getting dropped on the floor. My mistake. Probably a couple more things that drop over time, but I'll be okay. So it looks like what's going to happen here is I'm going to have to manually load this chest with them, but nonetheless, that means if I'm in another dimension and I need to get an overworld linking book, I can just open this ender pouch. And if worse comes to worse, I can go and find myself the ender pouch recipe, build myself, where is it? There it is. Build myself an ender pouch like this, use black wool here or dye it black, and get myself another black ender pouch that will connect. So this becomes my lifeline home, my safety. That's very important when you're playing around with Mystcraft. So now, what's the next thing that we need to do? Well, the next thing that we need to do is write ourselves an age. How are we going to do that? Well, what we're going to need... back to the mod, back to Mystcraft, shift-click, and what we have here is a writing desk. I need myself a writing desk. Again, I believe I only need one of these, so there's no point in teaching my system how to make a writing desk. I'm just going to ask it to give me one. There's a writing desk. Slap it down right here. There we are. And now, in a writing desk, what you can do, if you have them, you can take the pages that I have. I know that I need a notebook, which is made this way, and I am going to teach my system how to make notebooks, because I may need as much as a dozen of them at some point in time. There's how a notebook is made. There you are, system. Thank you very much. Can I have one, please? Make 10. Thank you. There's 10 of those. And I'll start with 2. Now, another thing that I know that I'm going to need at some point in the future are these book stands. Let me see if I've taught my system how to make sticks. I have, and how to make those. So let's go ahead and get sticks and planks. Now, the reason that I use the items out of my system as opposed to going in here and shift-clicking for a lot of things is simply I want to ensure that, for example, if I tell this that I need oak wood, it will only work with oak wood. It will only take oak wood. Now, it's possible that it could or dictionary the choices, but sometimes it doesn't. And so I want to make sure that the type of wood that I've told it to turn into planks is the type of planks I've told it to work with. Just simple logistics there. So now let me make ourselves a book stand. If I could type, it would help. Let's make 10 book stands. And I'm going to take all 10 of those. Now, if you remember, I had myself some Mystcraft pages. So there is the Mushroom Island biome and the Volcano biome. And I have a whole bunch of these Mushroom Island biome pages. What can I do with those? Well, basically, I can't do almost anything with those. But I'm going to set up a system by which I store all of my Mystcraft pages so that I can tell very easily which ones I have and which ones I still need. So let's go ahead. I need a chest right here, and I'm going to put in my extra Mushroom Island biome pages here. Now, back to this. If I want... I just somehow... Okay. I was sure I only had 10 of those. I am going to put a notebook in here, and I am going to load the Mushroom Island biome and the Volcano biome in it. If I middle click, it sorts them in alphabetical order, like it's told up here. And so now I have them stored in a safe location. If I wish to duplicate them, I would need some paper and probably some more ink. Take a stack of paper. Well, there's 16 ink vials. I would want to load the ink in here. Notice it produced a glass vial. I'd want to load the paper in here, and that would allow me to duplicate those pages. Now, I already have duplicates of some of those pages, so there's absolutely no reason for me to go through that. Let me clear this. Keep looking at it. It looks funny. So what's the last thing? There is one last thing that I need to move forward, and it is the bookbinder. Again, this is a thing that I only intend to need one of, and so there's no reason for me to teach the system to make it. Bookbinder completed. These are all of the tools that we need to build our Mystcraft books. Unfortunately, for the moment, we can't make very complicated Mystcraft books, but at least we can make them. Let me come over here, toss the leather that I need in here. So, what are we going to do? Well, unfortunately, at the moment, we can't make particularly complicated books, but all of our books need a link panel. So if I take a link panel in here and make myself a descriptive book, what I have just made is a book that will take me, if I click on it in the right way, to another dimension. Now, the thing is, if I click on it in my hand and click here, it will take me there, but the book won't come with me. The book will be dropped on the ground right here. And if a book is on the ground, it can take damage. However, if a book is in a bookstand, it can't take damage. Now, I have absolutely no idea what this first place is that I'm about to go to, so I'm going to make sure that I'm equipped. I have food. I don't have any torches right now, but now I have torches. I have food, I have torches, I have some books home. I'm going to take this notebook and store it in here for the moment, because there's no reason for me to bring it with me. I don't need this leather, so I'm going to put it back in my sorting system. And I'm going to need book stands, and I have 2 linking books home. That means I have 1, and I have 1 more for safety, and then I have 4 here in my pouch. Okay, so I think I am prepared. Of course, I'm never quite prepared for a first age, but here we go. We click on this, and immediately it generates a new age. Let's see. It looks like I have a blue sky. The sun's beneath me. I have at least a moon. The sky looks really funny, but that's okay. The moment I have no negative ill status effects, I have pigs. We've got dead wood from Biomes of Plenty. This looks like, if I check the map, I've got myself a snowy dead forest biome. That's perfectly acceptable. Let me kick on my jetpack and do a little bit of flying around. You know what? I'm going to classify this as a pretty nice age. It's not particularly dark, despite there not being a sun in the sky, which makes me think that it is a daytime age, though I'm sure... Oh, there's a creeper there, and a spider there, and a spider there. Let me go find out exactly how dangerous this age is, but so far, I think this is one of the best first ages I've ever found myself in. No, it's definitely night time right now, despite it being pretty bright, because all the monsters are aggroing on me pretty quickly. I don't seem to have any difficulty fighting them. There are no major negative status effects, so it's night, but that's okay. It's a little dangerous, but it's not a lot dangerous. So, here we have ourselves a Mystcraft age. I'm actually going to consider this a quite successful Mystcraft age, and it's time for us to do a little exploring. So what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to do it in safety. I'm going to start by heading north from where I started and see what I can find on the map. Now, one of the most important things when you first start out in Mystcraft, in a Mystcraft age, is this, and I completely failed to do it myself. This place that you start is always going to be one of these little stone slabs. And if you want to live for a long time, one of the recommendations that I make is go ahead and take a linking book, slap it down right here. If you have torches with you, which if you're even remotely prepared, you should have brought torches. Put some torches around the neighborhood so that even if it's particularly dark, you can spot it. That does brighten up the area a lot, which makes me think that this is a particularly well-lit age. Now I should be able to see this from a little bit of a ways. And then the next thing that you want to do is open up your map and add yourself a waypoint. Now, I notice, interestingly enough, that it includes this part of the map as if it works, so it seems like my map program doesn't particularly like Mystcraft. That's fine. I'm going to add myself age 2 home. I'm going to put this in the age 2 group. And now I noticed as I put that in that my cursor was at 0062. Wonderful. So effectively, I am at 0062. If you'll note in the upper right, again, next to my map, 0068. That means that if I ever need to find this book again while I'm in this age, all I have to do is find myself X and Y 00. That's wonderful. Now, let's turn that jetpack back on. Head north. Do a little bit of exploring. What are we looking for? Well, we're looking for anything useful. Frankly, Mystcraft ages can contain anything that you can find in the overworld and some more. Any treasure chests that appear on the surface would be a wonderful thing for me to collect at this point. Any unusual biomes that hold unusual things would be nice. Mystcraft includes what are called crystals, which will be little, like, blue crystals, I guess, best way for me to put it. And those crystals are valuable for Mystcraft linking portals. It'll produce dungeons, just like it would in the overworld. It'll produce all sorts of wonderful things. Hey look, the sun is coming up. How nice. The thing that I am most looking for is what's known as a Mystcraft library. And they are basically cobblestone cubes that will show up on the surface. And they will keep in them Mystcraft pages. They will have between 2 and 8 Mystcraft pages in them. Very valuable. This is how you go about finding most of the Mystcraft pages that you need. It's either that or trading with villagers. Those are your basic choices for finding yourself Mystcraft pages. So, I'm going to go off camera for a little while. You'll notice that I've just sort of circled around back near my home starting area. I'm going to wander around in circles around here until I find my first library, and then I will come back and show it to you. There we are, folks. There's my first one. Let me come down and show you what it is. Now, one of the nice things about using the map is that you can usually spot them on the map. They're gray and they're pretty identifiable. They're square, mapped, items. Now, let me come down here, cut my jetpack off, and show you the inside. Now, warning, up there, often monsters will spawn, especially in dark ages. That's important to know. Now, each one of these lecterns has the possibility of having a page on it. I got the single biome page. That's kind of nice. I got the natural cloud color page. That's pretty nice. and I got the half length. And now this would apply to things like, day or moon or whatnot. Now, there's one other thing that I think you should know about. Almost always, in one of these corners, you're going to find yourself a treasure chest. And that treasure chest will contain pages. So I got teal color, white color, Origin Valley biome, the ocean biome, and the dead forest biome. Now, all of these are super valuable to me, so what I'm going to do is open up my ender chest and drop them in. Now, they went to my sorting system back home, which is busy tossing them into my AE system. That's wonderful. Now, I'm of the opinion that I should have brought myself an axe, because all of these books are valuable to have, but I don't have anything good to knock them down with. So I'm just going to check the corners real quick, because the corners are where these treasure chests could be hidden. They're almost always at the bottom, though sometimes it's worth running your way all the way up just to make sure they didn't hide one in a different spot. Now, these are automatically generated, so they're all pretty consistent. And these corners are the easiest places, like I said, for them to have hidden a treasure chest. This is the reason that I bother going out into these ages before I have all the pages I need, because it's how I get all the pages I need. This age I consider a particularly good one. It's not perfect. For example, it would be nice if I had been able to make an age with, for example, that it was always day, so I didn't have to worry about monsters spawning. Or it would be nice if I had managed to spawn an age that had desert as its entire biome, because that way I could see these cobblestone cubes on the ground much more easily. But this is probably the best first age I've ever produced. It didn't have any sickness. It didn't have any poisoning. It didn't have any other horrible negative status effects, which are extraordinarily common in these ages. It wasn't just one giant ocean biome. It wasn't just one giant hell biome. It wasn't stuck in a cave. So this is a pretty good start. So I'm going to spend a little while. I'm going to see if I can find a couple more of these Mystcraft libraries, and then I'm going to come home and show you the writing of one age. And after that, I think it's time for us to wrap up for this particular episode. I'll show you the basic writing of a simple age, and as we move forward, I'll see what I can do about writing a perfect age for me to put my nuclear reactor in. It's possible this could be an acceptable choice. We shall see. I'll be back with you in a little bit, folks. Hello, folks. So, I've developed a pretty standard way of clearing one of these out. I did go home once and make a slight modification to my power fist. I added all of the various tools to it that I was talking about. So let me just show you really quickly how I go through one of these, just to see what it looks like. First, I grab anything off the lecterns: desert biome, swampland biome, natural foliage color, wonderful. And then I proceed to remove all of the bookshelves. Now, I don't necessarily need to do this, but I have been. The reason is, in the process of making the Ender Quarry, you use up a huge number of books. Let me just show you that really quick. The Ender Quarry is made up out of many of these ender cores, 2 ender cores, each of which takes magical wood, each of which takes bookshelves and enchanted books. Now, the nice thing is about these magical woods is they count as multiple bookshelves. You can set up, my understanding is, at least, I haven't proven this out yet, but you can set up magical wood next to your enchanting tables and it will count as multiple bookshelves. So I'm going to try that out relatively soon. But nonetheless, you'll always find in either this corner or this corner, that's what I found so far at least, a chest, and it has the largest number: Majestic Woods, Dense Ores, Phantasmagoric Inferno, Full Length, Brushland, and Grove biome. All of those sound interesting. I go ahead and toss all of that stuff back in here. I almost always get myself 2 stacks plus 13 books. It's pretty consistent, and then I move on to the next one. Now note, just for interest, the entrances of these always face west. They are very consistent. I'm pretty sure that they only have one minor change, and every time what I've been doing is just coming out the front door, moving forward until my mapping program hasn't filled in the screen yet, and then waiting for that to fill in. Takes it a couple of seconds. I look in the area to see if I see anything that looks nice and square. If it doesn't, I move forward again until the next time that I'm up against the edge of my mapping area. I sometimes will actually look around with my eyes, but I find that the map is much more efficient in terms of finding things, and quite frankly, I have an unlimited amount of space to work through. And mostly what I'm concerned about is saving my own time, and so if I miss 1 or 2 or 10 in this process, it's not particularly relevant. It's just a question of what can I find and what can I do relatively quickly. So there's a quick overview of how I'm going about finding and looting these, and I'll be back to you when we go to write the next age. Hello folks. So I was gone for, as you can see in the upper left-hand corner, about 100,000 energy worth of time, and I got myself a whole bunch of pages. Now, my concern is that I'm going to have to figure out how to sort and handle and manage all these pages, so I think what I'm going to do is be just a little bit sneaky about it. I'm going to take this chest right here, and you guys have seen me make these silver chests. I want to show you a couple of tricks because I realize that I need a lot more storage space, or I might need a lot more storage space than I have. In the Iron Chests mod, once you've made a chest, you can almost always upgrade it right where it sits. So what I did is, knowing that it's a silver chest, I made a silver to gold chest upgrade. Now, if we look in the chest right now, it's got a pretty good amount of storage space. If I go to gold, it's got more. I'm going to take the gold up to diamond, which is the largest size chest, and then just because the cost of this diamond to crystal is really glass and obsidian, there's no real expense attached to it, I'm going to upgrade this to crystal so that we can all see what's in it. Now, I would like some wire. No, cable. There we are, cable, ME cable. And I'm going to... Now my power fist works just fine for this job. I'm going to dig into the space directly below this and run some ME cable down into it. Now, what I really want is an export bus attached to that chest. Now, I could have put it just about anywhere, but I figured this was less cable, and that ultimately was what made my decision for me. Did that just destroy that? No, there it is. There we are. Much better. Now, I'd like to attach enough cable, please, to connect it to the network. Now, I hope this will work. I have not tried it before. I'm hoping that the fuzzy interface will allow me to export all of the pages by simply telling it one page. I don't know, because the information is not stored in damage values. Yep, there we go. So now my ME system is set up to automatically export any pages that I have picked up into this chest. And so we'll see pretty quickly exactly how many pages I managed to pick up. There's a lot of them. I was actually slightly worried that it might be clogging up my ME system. I had sent so many pages back. Now it's stacking anything that's a duplicate, and that's nice. Though it looks like we might... Oh, the moment I only see 16s as a maximum number, which makes me think it might only stack up to 16 of any given type. Well, let's see. Snowy coniferous forest. Let me do this. Snowy coniferous forest, snowy coniferous forest, snowy dead forest. So it does look like it only stacks up to 16 of any given type, and that's just fine. So, I'm going to go through the process of sorting all of this out and figuring out what it is that I have and what it is that I don't. And then when I've got it all sorted out, we'll come back and turn it all into one notebook. Okay, so I'll be right back once more, folks. Okay, this is a part of the sorting process, folks. I've actually got it sorted down pretty well, but I want to show you a little trick. First, when you double-click on this box, I'm not sure if you guys know this, but if you type in something, it'll show you everything in your inventory or anything in the attached inventory that has that word in it. So I've sorted out all the biomes, and I'm leaving behind things like huge biomes and medium biomes. Those are what I call biome descriptors. These are biome types. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this notebook, and I'm going to title it Biomes. I'm going to pull it out, I'm going to put it in my inventory, and now I have a notebook called Biomes. If I right-click on it and open it, I can go ahead and shift-click all of these into it. So I'm just going to toss all the biomes that I have into this notebook called Biomes. And that'll allow me later, when I want to write a book, to go, oh, what type of biome or what types of biomes would I like? So there you go. That's an important part of the sorting process. Once again, I'll be right back. Yeah, there, folks. So, like I said, I was going to come back and show you the process of writing ourselves our first Mystcraft age. So, let's see. First thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to put a notebook over here, and I'm going to call this Age 3. What that does is allows me to just copy pages into here. So, let's see. What types of biomes would we like? I would like a single biome age. Let's see. If I just right-click on a page, it shows up here. And I would like that single biome to be... Let's see. What would be good? I'm really looking for something that's not going to have any snow, so that I can see pretty clearly, but isn't going to be too hot. I don't think a fire swamp sounds like a good idea. I don't really want an ocean. Obviously nothing that's a forest. A glacier might be good. Ice mountains, highlands. Let's see, I'm going to go with a highlands biome. So that's a single biome, highlands. And then, let's see, I would like, let's see what type, I'd like to put crystal blocks in, but I'm not quite sure how at the moment. I guess I could do... Let's see if this works. Otherwise, I might be introducing instability, but I'm going to do crystal block spheres. With a... Is there a no weather? Do I have a no weather choice here? Doesn't look like I do. With normal weather, normal stars... and a zero length. Do I have any choices on a sun? I don't. So I'm going to have to go over here and take that zero length out. Because if I try to make a zero length sun, but I don't have any information in it, that's definitely going to make an instability. Let's just see if there's anything else that natural sky color, natural foliage color, natural cloud color, natural water color. Looks like I have that one twice. I should delete that page. The advantage of having chose all of those like natural colored items is that by doing that, I sort of increase the chance that I'm going to get stability in my age. So let's go ahead and take a look. Let's see if I can find that page that I didn't want, the zero length, and I'm going to remove that. Those are duplicates. Now, I could find other ways to delete them, but this is what I use the delete function for. So, there we are. And that's going to need a link panel, no matter what. So let's open this up and put a link panel as the first thing in the book. Now, I take this over, I slap it in the bookbinder, I take out my descriptive book. Now, we'll see what this descriptive book produces by putting it down, that, I'm making sure that I have a linking book to the overworld. Just to be safe, I'm going to make myself one more overworld linking book. Well, I think I have a collection of them. Yep, I do. I'll take one more out of here. And let's go see what sort of age we just produced. Well, that looks like normal stars, a little rainbowy, but that's fine. A normal looking sky. It looks like I got endstone as my primary material. It looks like I've got a little bit of a hell world. I've clearly got lightning. I've got a ghast over there. I've got a whole bunch of these imps, which at the moment are completely harmless to me. It doesn't look like I got anything particularly nice at all. Well, let me just take a moment, rather than assuming. I did get the crystal spheres that I asked for. Let me go kill this here ghast real quick. Thank you, Mr. Ghast. And I'm going to mine these crystal spheres just a little bit because they are very valuable to me. They're something that I want a lot of in my inventory. So, let's just recap. The process of writing these books is fraught with all sorts of complications. You never quite know what it is that you're going to get when you go through the process of making a linking book, which is why I built myself this armor and worked so hard to make sure that I'd be safe when I came through here. Almost all of these ages are going to have libraries in them, even this one. In fact, this one has allowed me to get something that I've been looking for a while, which is a little bit of end stone. That's a kind of a nice thing, because I haven't been to the end yet. I'm willing to bet that when nighttime comes, this area will be full of creepers of all kinds, and of endermen, which ought to be interesting. I have no idea what ores will be in this age, but I'm willing to bet they'll be pretty standard. This age, to me, is not particularly useful. I probably won't come back here except when I need more of this crystal, which at the moment I'm getting quite a lot of, so I may not ever need more. But it is kind of an interesting little place. You'll notice there's that little rocky island up there. I find myself wondering what's up there. But, so now you've got a quick overview of Mystcraft. As I said, I want to collect myself quite a lot of these linking pages so that I can figure out how to build a completely stable, completely safe, positive place for me to go, so that I can build my nuclear reactor there. This isn't going to be it. Any place with fireballs flying around is not going to be where my nuclear reactor goes. So, a quick overview of this process, and we'll be back next time to find out what new ages I create. Have a good one, folks!